for joining us this afternoon. My name is Braden Snyder, and today we're joined by the team captains of the Gettysburg College men's cross-country team. The team will feature a highly experienced group this year, as 11 runners are back from last year's squad, including many of its top performers from last year. Connecticut, last season, Alex finished among the team's top 5 runners in 3 different races, and despite dealing with an injury in the middle of the season, he bounced back to race at both of the team's championship meets at the end of the year, and he's also made his mark as an excellent middle distance runner for the track team. And actually, last winter, Alex anchored the distance medley relay team that broke the indoor school record this past winter. Seated to my right is Bobby Weisensee. Bobby is a senior biology major from Clark, New Jersey. He's been a steady contributor for the Bullets throughout his career, and he's raced at the Centennial Conference Championship in each of the past 3 seasons. He also runs for the Bullets track and field team, competing in a wide variety of events, including middle distances, the intermediate hurdles, as well as the steeplechase. So welcome, Alex, and welcome, Bobby. Thanks for taking your time out to join us here today. First question I would have is just, you've had, a week and a half now, I guess, with the team. First impressions so far?
So I was, so far through preseason, really excited with how the team's looking up through our alumni meet. We lost a couple of our top guys last year, and Ben Tabor and Nate Wojcik, but we followed that up with a really strong freshman year recruitment class of 10 great guys. Everyone seems really motivated and put a lot of great work in over the summer, making top of our team really solid with a lot of depth. So I'm very excited to see where the season will take us.
Yeah, Alex, anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, we've started the season off with some great workouts. Our time trial at the beginning of the year and our alumni race showed some really great times from all over the team, so it was pretty solid so far this year.
Yeah, the team brings back a nice portion of its roster from last year, as I mentioned at the top. And as you mentioned, even though the team only lost a couple of seniors, there were 2 very talented runners that graduated, Nate Wojcik and Ben Tabor. We'll talk about a little later on, but 5 different runners who were consistently in the team's top 7 are back this year, and along with a number of other runners right behind them. So what does that kind of experience mean to the team to have some nice, I guess, depth coming back?
And actually, it really is very helpful, especially as we work up to the longer distances in the 8Ks. There's a lot more to racing than just running, and having the experience on how to race tactically, and having guys who are able to pass that experience down to the newer runners who are finding themselves up in the top half of the team. It's really valuable to keep breeding the excellence that we strive for. So having some top guys there to kind of show them the ropes is really, really useful.
Yeah, I guess you talked about the freshman class a little bit too. That kind of has been adding quite a bit this year, and a newcomer on the team as well was on the track team, but not cross country. Sam Sheldon, I guess, came out, ran a great race at the alumni race. So what can you say about the newcomers on the team coming in?
Yeah, the newcomers definitely are starting the season off strong. Sam put in a lot of work this summer, really did some great summer training, and it's paid off. Really great race this Saturday, and a lot more to come. The freshmen as well, definitely starting the season off strong. A couple of the guys already up in that top part of the team, so really exciting.
Well, speaking of the alumni race, it was quite a weekend for Gettysburg cross country. There was a celebration of the 40th anniversary of the alumni race, and there was a banquet the night before, and a huge turnout here for the alumni race itself, which pits the alumni versus the current team, in a great race there on both sides, men's and women's race. Can you talk about what that experience was like, Bobby? Just to be able to race alongside so many alumni and just the camaraderie there that you might have experienced.
Yeah, sure. It was really, really awesome. This past year was definitely my favorite alumni race of the now 4 that I've been through. Being was the 40th anniversary. We had a huge turnout. I think on the men's and women's side combined, there were over 60 alumni racing and even more not racing. At our team barbecue afterwards, there were 3 generations of Gettysburg track and field head coaches there, which was really awesome. And it was just really cool, like you said, to kind of race and hang out and talk to the guys who, when I was getting recruited, were the names I was looking at on like the press releases and the top 10 lists, and to have them back and run alongside them, it was really fun and a really great experience.
Well, the alumni race, it sounds like, is quite an exciting experience for everybody who's involved. But obviously, throughout the year, there's other big meets that you really focus in on. The alumni race actually is not an official race, but of the actual varsity races throughout the year, what were some of the meets that you, I guess, kind of maybe circle on your calendar before the year or really focused on, would you say, Alex?
Well, one of my favorite courses to race on is the Lehigh course at Paul Short. Great course to run, fast, a lot of fun. Our team performs really well there year in and year out, so that's awesome. Also really excited to be hosting conferences this year at our home course. Our home course is a great one. It's flat, fast, and it'll be really cool to defend our home turf there this year.
Yeah, speaking of the Centennial Conference Championships, they will be right here at Gettysburg for the first time since I believe it was 2009, the last time the conference championship was here at the battlefield. Bobby, can you talk about how much of an advantage that will be for the team to have that big meet right here in your backyard?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely is a huge edge. Knowing your own course, knowing what's ahead, what you have left, when to push, when to kind of take it easy on some of the harder parts and things like that. And just, from running it every day, things that other teams won't have that we can use to our advantage in the competition. And Coach Shank's also been making some changes to the course this year. The layout will be a little different than it's run in the past years, and I think his changes are great, and it's going to make the course a lot faster. So I'm really excited to see how it plays out at a championship meet.
Well, as previously mentioned, we talked about how the team had graduated some very strong cross-country runners over the last 2 years. Jackson Davis 2 years ago, Ben Tabor last year, who qualified for nationals. It was the first national qualifier the program has had in quite a while. So from training with the two of them, what do you think you learned, I guess, from training with someone like a Jackson Davis or a Ben Tabor? How do you feel like you benefited also from that training?
Well, running with those guys has pushed me to become such a better runner. I've taken everything from just their running technique, their running workouts, scheduling different runs. I started doubling because of those guys. Took me on long runs and really developed me as a runner. And without those guys here on the team, I don't think I would have been the same runner I am today. So definitely a lot of credit goes out to those guys for helping me develop as a runner. And I think they did a great job with the whole team.
Yeah, I'm sure you were able to especially benefit from running with Ben Tabor on the track, both of you, I think 1,500 specialists. And Bobby, I know you had a chance to run with Jackson and Ben, and Jackson on the track was a tremendous steeplechase competitor, an event that you have done. So how do you think the two of them have impacted your development as an athlete?
Yeah, really, the biggest thing that they brought to the team, in my opinion, especially Ben was incredibly strong in this, was just like the mentality and the mindset and the drive to succeed. He always just said, running's a pretty simple sport. If you train really hard and you stay out of injury, like, you'll do well. And seeing them put that work in and then get the results that they got, inspires, I think, the rest of the team to, do the same, because if you put in the work like they did, look where you can go with, like you said, Tabor at race at nationals for the first time in I think around 10 years for the program. So just seeing their work ethic and the rewards it can get, I think, is really good for the rest of the team to kind of, get you reaching for that next goal and keep striving to do better.
And we mentioned Nate Wojcik earlier as well. One of the two runners who graduated from last season, but really just put on an amazing track season this past year, and another great example for the team to follow as well. So for those who may not be quite as familiar with the sport of cross country, can you just talk a little bit about how you prepare for this sport? Obviously, you run, but a lot of mileage. But just how do you go about preparing for a cross country season, and how do you put it all together, I guess, throughout the course of a summer?
Well, summer, one of the biggest keys, it's all about building base mileage, and something I talked to Ben a lot was how much of a mileage game cross country sometimes really is. And so this summer I put in anywhere between 50 and 70 mile weeks as I built across my summer, and the biggest key is just getting the mileage in, running consistently, working together as a team by communicating and making sure we're keeping each other running. And we did a really great job of this summer, and I think it's really paying off right off the start because, as Coach Shank says, we come into preseason to get in shape, and that's the whole goal, and we did a great job of that this year.
And both of you also compete, as we mentioned, in indoor and outdoor track and field. It makes for quite a long season, competing all the way from September through May. So I'd just be interested in hearing from the two of you, how do you feel, what do you feel are the keys to kind of staying sharp over that long haul from fall through spring?
I think really the biggest and most important point is to listen to your body. When you're training consistently and, in-season training is intense for that long of a period of time, you, of course, want to keep building and keep increasing in speed and strength, but you also have to be really careful to, make sure you're staying healthy, because you can train all you want, but if you go out with an injury, then you're missing races as it is, and then when you come back, you're going to be below where you were before. So really just smart and regimented training, making sure everyone has, the ability to succeed both physically and with their actual training. And I think that's something Coach Shank does a great job of, monitoring when to actually get out on the roads and run, when to cross-train and take it easy for a day or two, really to keep everyone going for so many months to be able to compete at a high level.
Yeah, we've often seen the team, or at least early in the season, getting into the pool, doing some of that cross-training you're talking about. Because it is quite a long year. I don't know that there's too many other athletes here who are just going after it, all that time. There are really no down periods at all for you guys. It's quite amazing. So yeah, everybody has a story. I'm always interested to hear kind of the backstory of our student athletes. Just kind of what brought you here. Everybody has a story. So, I guess Bobby, I'll ask you first. I know your mother attended Gettysburg College, so I would just be curious, did that impact your decision to come here, or what exactly, I guess, led to your path to Gettysburg?
It's funny, actually. My mom going to Gettysburg originally deterred me so strongly from ever looking at the school because, I thought that was my mom's school and I wanted to do my own thing. But, she pestered me for long enough to finally submit an application, and I'm really glad she did because once, she finally got me down to campus. It was Get Acquainted Day, I remember, and I met with my current biology advisor as well as Coach Shank, and I was sold. I had, got the dot that day. And that was really, really it for me. So, and now that I am here and see what a great school it is, I really do appreciate kind of the family ties and being able to share a school with my mom is really cool. But originally, yeah, I was a little I want to do my own thing kind of against it, but I'm glad I changed my mind. It's been a great experience, and I definitely wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? Can you just talk about what brought you here, what your path was?
Well, I had a lot of great visits here. I came down 2 or 3 times before I eventually decided to come, and just every time I was on campus, it was an incredible environment, friendly. I was really attracted to the class sizes we have here at Gettysburg. I like that kind of environment in learning. And also the team was really great. I came down, saw the track team race at our home invite, and I could feel the excitement. I could feel the team environment, and that was something I really wanted and definitely have here. It's been a great decision.
Yeah, the last thing I think I would just ask you is, as we're kind of running down on time, what would you say is kind of the favorite thing for you as a cross country runner at Gettysburg, or even just as an athlete in general? What What do you think is some of the best things about being an athlete here at Gettysburg?
Well, I think the environment here, all the teams are very supportive of each other. It's great. Like, you see people cheering for you all the time. People are always asking how practices have been and stuff like that. So that's great here at Gettysburg. And honestly, some of the best people I've met have been on my team, and that's been amazing. So.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Kind of like the culture, both in the cross-country team, being a smaller group than track and really close-knit, but also the athletics program overall. You always feel like you're welcome, and everyone's so excited for everyone else to succeed. And I think that really drives and inspires you to be your best here.
Yeah, it's definitely a great environment to be a part of, I think, when you have so many people encouraging each other. So thank you once again, Bobby, Alex, for joining us here, taking your time out to discuss the team and the season. So the Bullets open the season this Friday under the lights at a rare night meet, the Shippensburg Invitational. You can also catch the Bullets at home this season for 2 different meets. They host the Gettysburg Invitational on October 14th, as well as the Centennial Conference Championships, as we mentioned, that's coming up on a Sunday, October 29th. So once again, we thank you for following along here on Facebook Live, and go Bullets.